So I wanted to talk about black kids and their trauma. And my reason for this is that I saw where it said crime is going up, especially in New York, and the shooting, and just really sad. But I was just thinking about our children and what they must be going through and the trauma they're experiencing, and how the basic human emotion is taken away from them or not applied to them, right? When we think about Trayvon Martin, at the end of the day, he was a kid walking from the store, right? Just a kid walking from the store, and an adult was following him, right? But no one saw, or people refused to look at the fact that this kid, even at 6 feet, however tall he is, a kid can be scared that a stranger is trailing him, right? So that basic human emotion is just taken away. Like, what? Because you're a black boy, you don't get scared that some stranger is following you? So, looking at what our kids are going through lately, first of all, they have to watch the news or social media or whatever and see these horrific murder of themselves, their images, right? And then they're dealing with their grandparents because, um, they said we're at about 140,000 dead, and at least half of those are black people. So, well, 70,000 black people have died. That means these kids are losing their grandparents, parents. And we know that the grandparents are a big part in the black community. And on top of losing your probably your foundation or your source of love, you're losing or you're watching your family members sick and suffering, and there's no jobs, and you know you're worried about losing your place, you're worried about your family being sick. And so the basic thing is our kids are going through a lot. And before we start saying policing is necessary, but it's not the cure all. We need to get to the root of the problem and solve it before we reach to the policing, right? We need to talk about education. Our kids need education. And in this pandemic, that doesn't equal school because, truth be told, a lot of our kids were graduating from school can't read, graduating from school uneducated. So being educated and going to school is not the same thing, right? So the thing is, they need schooling. They need things to help them dream. They need jobs. They need motivation, right? And we can all sit and say, oh, it's their parents. No, it's all of us. It's all of us. We are our brother's keeper. And that doesn't mean black people. It means us as human beings. We are our brother's keepers. and we do need to speak truth, right? Yeah, the kids doing thing or they doing the wrong thing, and you got to tell them in your family. You have to speak to them. You have to let them know. But we need to speak truth and see what these kids need. They need more than just locking them up and sending them to prison. We need to be able to see, what are we doing to save these kids, and what do we expect them to do with their disappointment, their hurt, their rage. Who's addressing it? Who is caring for it? Right? We're leaving them out on the street to fend for themselves. It's easier for them to get a gun than it is for them to get a job, than it is for them to get an education. So, who is the real criminal? Who is the one sacrificing our children? We have to all look into ourselves. But I just wanted to address the point about the kids, because I feel like our kids are just being left behind in so many ways, but emotionally, their emotional needs are not being looked at. They're watching themselves being murdered. They're watching their family die from a virus. They're watching their family members being sick and not getting the help they need. They're living in poverty. Some don't even have food, right? There's no place for them to go but to stay with each other and talk. But who's there to help them? So before you start labeling them thugs and criminals and all of that, look at yourself and what you're willing to do, and how have you helped